Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our brand new podcast, Open Mic Wrasslin. And I'm very excited here to be joined by Instagram's famous John Cena Crews, whose real name is Carmen. She is only 22 years old. She's so talented. She's a student studying exercise physiology, and she is from the United States of America. And the most interesting part about her studying exercise physiology, you know what? I'm not going to say it. Carmen's going to say it herself. Carmen, welcome to the show. And you know,
Thank you.
It blows my mind, the story that you just told me about your career field, what you opted for in college. How is it related to John Cena? Tell us about it.
So yeah, he went to Springfield College. He actually graduated from there, and he studied exercise physiology, which is also what I'm studying. Which is funny because it like perfectly aligns with what I want to do career-wise. But I would have never heard of it if I didn't know that he had studied that. Like the first time I was exposed to it was when I think he did a speech at a different graduation ceremony from that same college. Wow. And that was the first time I had actually heard of it. And then I started doing my own research about it, and I just fell in love with it. So it's awesome.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, you know, no matter how big of a Cena fan you are, I'm pretty sure 99.9% people don't even know that he did exercise physiology. And on top of that, a fan who's following in his footsteps, you know, who knows? Maybe tomorrow you'll be a 17-time world champion too. You never know. That's right. Awesome. That's awesome, Carmen. And you know, John Cena is hot right now. Everybody's talking about it. He's back. He's back. He's better than ever. He has got great hair. He's facing Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. So obviously, there's only one question with which we need to start this episode, Carmen. The question is, do you identify this?
Oh my gosh, I do not.
Okay, I'll make it a little easier for you. Do you identify this?
Yes.
You do? Okay. And
I do.
What is this?
It is a country, I think. If I'm not being wrong.
What country is it, Carmen?
Is it India?
No, it's not India. You're trying to play smart with me, Carmen. Come on, we all know the answer. Let's give it another try.
Okay. Is it a state in the United States or no?
No, it's not.
Or was I right about it being a country?
It's not. I'll make it a little bit more easier for you. It's something that John Cena was, you know, everywhere. I mean, you know, people were talking about him because of this piece of land.
Oh no! Is it China?
It is.
Oh no!
It is.
No.
I'm not gonna say what it is, but it is something because I don't want to.
Yeah,
get into trouble.
Now. I know.
I don't want to get into trouble, so I'm not gonna say if it's China or if it's T-land.
Yeah, I know.
But you obviously have a lot of guts more than I do. But
yeah.
I want to know, what do you think about this whole controversy? John Cena was everywhere.
Right.
What did you think about it?
It was crazy, like, because when I saw the video, like, I have the app that he uses, Rainbow, like, installed on my phone, and I check it, like, every couple of weeks or, like, every month or so. But when that video first got posted, like, I didn't know what it was because I don't know Mandarin. So even when I clicked to translate it, I had to use, like, an app, and it showed me, like, bits and pieces of what he was saying. So I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But then, like, an hour after the post went up, it was everywhere. And I was like, what is happening? And then people kept blowing up my DMs, and they were like, hey, have you seen all the stuff about John Cena saying that Taiwan isn't a country? And I was like, oh no. And I think I put out like a little snippet of a statement on my Instagram story. And I was like, I'm at the point now where I kind of get that no matter what he had responded to follow up with that, he would have gotten backlash for it.
Yeah.
So I was like, either he said it was a country and then he would get bashed on by Chinese fans, or he said it wasn't a country and he gets bashed by everybody else.
Correct.
So I was like, his decision-making process was on him entirely. And I kind of would just go with the flow of whatever that decision was that he made.
Right. No, very well. I'll also point your attention to something that I pulled up earlier. Just give me a second. So, all right, just 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to share the screen. So I want to pull your attention to this. This is how the media reacted to John Cena apologizing to Taiwan. This is Fox News, and they say, they're covering it obviously, and then Tucker from Fox News, he says that the apology was disgusting, and then we look at Newsweek, an absolute wuss for John Cena apologizing to China. Then we got more from CNN. We got more from Marco Rubio, who says that China controls the narrative when it comes to Hollywood. What did you think of the reaction by the media? Was it uncalled for, or was it something that just had to happen?
I think in a way, everything kind of happens for a reason, and I think that it did happen for a reason. Okay. What exactly the reason was, I'm not sure. But I think at some point in like everyone's career, I guess, they receive some sort of like pinnacle terrible moment that happens. And I do think, like, I don't disagree with the whole statement about China controlling kind of like the narrative for Hollywood. Because at the time he was promoting anyway was for F9. And like the market over there is huge. Like it released over there, like I think a month or two before it released here in the United States. And like the whole goal of the promotion is kind of to sell it. So I guess at that point he was kind of just trying to sell the movie, or trying not to hurt the sales of the movie at that point.
Absolutely. I agree.
And like whatever you got to do is what you got to do, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you just have to find an escape from that.
Right.
I agree. But you know, what I found very baffling was that while all of these media outlets and politicians, because everybody was talking about it, big politicians were talking about it. But what baffled me the most, was that nobody cared to understand what the United States stand is when it comes to Taiwan. And I would like to tell our viewers that the United States of America, the country, identified Taiwan as an actual country for about 30 years after the Chinese Civil War. So used to, until 1979, no longer does it identify Taiwan as a country. Yes, it maintains a positive diplomatic relationship with Taiwan, provides military assistance, but at the end of the day, the United States of America does not identify Taiwan as an individual country. And is John Cena an American citizen? Yes, he is. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, come on, I mean,
and it's all based on like geological location too. Like, I think most of it wasn't directly because they were upset with what he said or like with him as a person, but like the United States, it's not like a secret. We're kind of enemies with China. Like, we always have been. And I think that's where it was mostly coming from, was that they saw him identifying it that way as like him being pro-China instead of him being like, hey, I'm promoting, the movie here, so I can't like piss these people off,
That's a sad part. Cena was obviously the victim here, because the U.S. doesn't identify Taiwan separate from China. So of course, John Cena has to apologize. If the U.S. did identify China as a separate country, and then Cena would have apologized, that would have been, some kind of a traitorship.
Correct. Yeah.
This was not. So Cena was innocent here, and that's my verdict. That is my verdict.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
I agree.
Obviously, we know Cena as a superstar, the megastar. He's a wrestler. He's a Hollywood star, a philanthropist. He's done so many Make-A-Wishes. But, let's not forget, John Cena was also a hip-hop star, a former rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was.
So, I want to ask you, have you always been a fan of John Cena?
So I became a fan, I think it was like mid 2003.
Okay.
Because, like, I see some people say, like, they knew who he was in, like, UPW and stuff. I didn't follow him through all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't exposed to him until he popped up in WWE.
Yeah.
So that's when I got, like, my first exposure to him. And at first, like I said, like, the first few times I saw him, I was like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And then he kept going and going, and I was like, how can you not like this guy, you know?
No. So you have enjoyed his album. You did.
I did. I loved it.
And which
I'm
one?
obsessed with it.
You're obsessed. So which one's
I
your favorite
am.
song from that album?
Okay, I like Just Another Day.
Okay.
I like Bad Bad Man, and If It All Ended Tomorrow. Oh, and Summer Flings. Summer Flings is really good too.
Really good songs, especially Bad Bad Man. I love that song.
Oh yeah.
If It All Ended Tomorrow, like I don't know if you can see it, but I have goosebumps right now because by hearing its name. It's such a good song. And
It
people,
was.
people really should, look it up right now as we're speaking.
Yeah.
It All Ended Tomorrow is such a meaningful song. But another
It
song
is.
that's my personal favorite is Right Now. Really good.
Oh,
really
for sure. Really good.
It just lets you know that what you got to do it right now. It's a good song.
Yeah.
But
It is.
do you think that John Cena's rap career, I mean, obviously, he's very successful. Very successful. We can't say it enough. But do you think that his rap career was kind of limited because of WWE's involvement?
I do.
You do?
Because I think, like, obviously it was explicit content, as they say, like, within the album. But I think if WWE didn't have as big of an involvement in, like, what went into it, or if they weren't restricting time based on, like, the schedule that they needed him on, I honestly think he could have put out another album. That's just me. But I think he kind of was really dedicated to them at the time as well. Because he was really popping off at that time.
Yeah.
So I think he wanted to capitalize on that since that's where his actual career was. But I definitely do think, like, they had a certain footprint in the music industry when he was kind of coming into it at that point.
Definitely. I mean, the album cover speaks for itself. It was a WWE.
Yeah, it's a championship.
I would like, since we're talking about this, I would like to draw your attention to another one of the projects. Do you recognize this at all?
I don't, honestly.
All right. So as you can see, that is Maria Kanellis. And this is the album cover for her own album.
Wow, she has an album?
She has an album. She does. Yeah.
No way.
That's why you should listen to the Wrassing show, and you should check out my interview with Maria Kanellis.
I will. Yeah. Right after this, I will.
You gotta do that. After. You have to. There's a lot.
I will.
Good. So she released an album, Seven Sins, back when she was released from the WWE, shortly after it. Mm-hmm. And this is something that she never revealed before. It was revealed on the Wrassing show that she quit the WWE because they wouldn't let her release the album without bringing it under their control.
Crazy.
They needed total and full control of the album. It was a separate project that had nothing to do with the WWE. It was not funded by it at that time. Even when it was just a plan, they wanted it under their control. And on top of that, they wouldn't increase her salary from the time that she debuted on the main roster until 5 years later. They did not increase a single penny.
Yeah, that's crazy. I read about that, I believe, on like a news article somewhere. Yeah. That's insane to me.
That news article was based on my episode.
Yay! So in a way, I kind of like,
but it is crazy, and I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like John Cena was also in the same position, but he couldn't.
I agree.
Honestly, but yeah, definitely. What do you think of his album that came out with Wiz Khalifa, the WWE 2K15 album?
I still play those songs. I played Breaks yesterday when I was driving to work. Yeah.
That's crazy. So when we talk about Maria Kanellis, the
Mhm.
name that pops up in my mind is your other favorite superstar, Nikki Bella. We know the history between John Cena and Nikki Bella is just as
Mhm.
good as it is between you and Nikki Bella. You adore her, right?
Absolutely, yeah,
Me too.
100%.
The same way Cena does. And Maria told me that at the time she was dating Dolph Ziggler, and they were at
Mhm.
a party. Maria and Ziggler were at a WWE party where the lots of stars were there. They were hanging out, they were dancing, and Nikki Bella just pops up and she asks Maria, "What is she doing?" And Maria said, "Nothing. I'm just hanging out. I'm dancing with everybody." And then
Mhm.
Nikki Bella says, "No, you're not dancing with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is with me." And she takes Dolph Ziggler away
Wow.
from Maria, leaves her alone. So, what do you think of Nikki Bella yourself? I mean, your honest opinions on her.
Yeah. So like I'm at the point now, I think like if you would ask me like 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been like, absolutely not. Like she sucks, she's da 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 da. But like I'm kind of at the place now where like I don't really think about her if that makes sense. Cause
Mm.
like I'm a John Cena fan page, so like as soon as she was out of the picture and like everything had blown over, I was kind of done. Like every once in a while, she pops up in my recommended. I'm like eye roll, you know,
Yeah.
because like just the way she comes off to me doesn't come off as like a genuine person, and I think that's where my issue was
Hmm.
because it seemed like genuine things or things that would come off as genuine that she was doing didn't seem like she was doing it out of like being a good person. It was more like for publicity. So.
I can agree with that definitely. So, what do you since we're talking about relationships here? I mean,
Mhm.
John Cena himself has been in a few, and there are a lot of rumors when it comes to
Mhm.
Cena's relationships. I will name them all one by one, all of them that are known to the public. So, Cena was involved with Mickey James, as we know, in 2009,
Mhm.
and later he claimed to marry, Elizabeth, his childhood sweetheart.
Mhm.
Lots of people say that he was cheating on Elizabeth at that time. Uh, what are your opinions on it, if you have any opinion on it?
Yeah, so as far as that whole thing went, it was confusing for me too, because I didn't even know about the Mickey James thing. I was a huge fan of hers, so that like when it came out, it kind of upset me. I'm not gonna lie, because like I was a huge fan of her. I still am. I still support Mickey. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
Um, yeah, but the way I saw it kind of was like John never came out and said anything, and there's always like, in my opinion, three sides. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and then what actually like legit happened. And because he never really came out and spoke on it, I kind of just took it for what it was, and like, what XYZ said, I kind of just rolled with the punches there. But if that really was like the way it happened, like Mickey's version, what went down, it is a bit disappointing. But I can't make decisions for somebody else.
Right. Absolutely. I respect your opinion. It's after all, at the end of the day, it's their own personal lives, and
Right.
just watching it from afar. But there's another rumor, which is just it's hard to ignore it. It was
Hmm.
Cena's rumored involvement. Shortly after the divorce, it was Cena's rumored involvement with an adult star. Her name is Kendra Lust.
Hmm.
I personally find no truth to this rumor. I don't.
I agree, because like I saw the stuff when it first started, like popping up everywhere, but it didn't seem like there was any tangible proof that would like prove it to be true. So I guess like especially after any celebrity, not even just him at this point, but anytime they have like a big breakup in the public media,
Yeah.
they kind of try to claw onto like any other
Oh
relationship
yeah.
that they might have. Like I
Absolutely.
remember after the Nikki Bella split went down, people started saying he was dating Carmela like for
Yeah.
no reason at all.
Yeah.
So I kind of that's what that reminds me of. Where it was kind of like I didn't believe it because there was no proof to it and nobody came out and said
Nobody.
anything.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's a lot that fans can learn from you here, is to how to be a respectful fan without judging, without, jumping to conclusions without enough evidence. And that's what we all should do.
Yeah.
Lots of
And I
people
get hated for that too.
Oh no.
It's crazy.
By the way, everybody listening to this right now, you've already heard from Carmen herself, is that she has that app. What's that app called? Weebly.
Yeah.
Weebly. So she has Weebly, where John Cena posted a video. Carmen took the efforts to translate that video to English to understand what Cena said. She posted snapshots of it on her page of different articles. This shows the length that she goes to provide the correct information on John Cena and everything around him to her fans. So if you're listening to this right now, make sure to go to John Cena Crews on Instagram and really check her workout. It's amazing. It's great.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job there. And since we're talking about relationships, I'm going to jump to another relationship that John Cena still does, very meaningful, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We know that we know it's a back and forth, there's a love-hate relationship. John Cena called out The Rock in 2012-11 for being a phony, being a hypocrite, working Hollywood, working WWE to promote his Hollywood projects. Cena's doing something similar right now, and we know that he's, talked about it in the past.
Right.
But what do you think? Is he really coming back because he loves wrestling? Or is he coming back because he loves wrestling, but he also needs to promote his films?
So what I think he genuinely is coming back because he loves wrestling.
Okay.
And the reason I don't think it has anything to do with movie promotion is because, they sprinkle it here and there, but the movie kind of spoke for itself already. And I feel like if he was going to come back to do, strictly, oh, I love this, but I'm promoting the movie, then he would plug it a lot more than he is. And he always tries to make a means to go back. That's why whenever it comes to comparing him with The Rock, I never understood it. Because, when The Rock left, he left for 7 years and was, non-existent in WWE whatsoever.
True.
But, even when John first started getting his feet wet in, movies, he was always coming back. If he filmed the movie, he would come back and wrestle X amount of shows for X amount of months until he got another movie.
Sure.
And even now, he doesn't need WWE anymore. He genuinely is coming back because he enjoys doing it. It's not something he feels like he has to do. It's something he wants to do. So I genuinely think he's still in love with the wrestling and in love with WWE and the atmosphere that comes with being back. And I think that's why he keeps coming back. And
he's working numerous house shows. He's working dark matches. So definitely that's not something you would see Dwayne Johnson do.
Right. And that's what I was saying. I was telling some other fans the same thing because they were upset that he was doing the dark matches. Oh, why isn't this on TV? We want matches on TV. And I was like, this kind of further proves the point, though, that he's doing it because he wants to be doing it. Correct. Because if he was just coming back to promote it, he'd probably be like, yeah, throw me on Raw and SmackDown, but I don't want to do any house shows. I don't want to do any dark matches. He would just do the TV stuff. But he doesn't mind sitting through an entire event to wrestle a 10-minute match where he's in the ring for 2 minutes, Yeah,
absolutely. No, absolutely, I agree. And since you're talking about fans complaining, there's another thing that fans complained about, and they still complain all the time, is that WWE spoils returns. They announce returns and they spoil it. Do you agree with those fans that they shouldn't do that? Or what is your perspective on this?
I do agree. And I think that with social media, I can see why they do it. To try and promote the product better, to get fans' eyes on it. But I think pre-social media era, that's why it was so much better. Because, people would watch it to be surprised. Returns weren't said a week, 2 weeks in advance. John Cena's return at the Royal Rumble is, a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That reaction would not have been that crazy if they had been like, hey, guys, John Cena's returning tonight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was the certain element of surprise that came with it back then, I think is what made people enjoy it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they kind of feel betrayed in a way when WWE uses like announcements to spoil things, because they're like, this could have been an awesome surprise for like the fans. So I don't disagree. I think they definitely do have a right to be upset about it, and I do see where they're coming from with that too.
You know, a lot of people say that AEW does a better job at keeping surprises. But I'm not saying that I'm an AEW hater, or I'm not saying,
right.
I'm not even saying that I'm an AEW lover. I'm not. But I'm gonna say this. AEW. What I feel here is that AEW is WWE is not at fault, because AEW can afford to keep surprises, and there's a reason behind this. WWE is mainstream. People know who John Cena is. Nobody knows who Orange Cassidy is, or Darby Allin.
Right, I agree.
Or Jurassic Park, or whatever their name is. Nobody knows that, right? So
yeah,
they can afford to keep surprises because every single week their audience is the same and they're tuning in.
Exactly.
For WWE audiences are a lot. I'm not gonna say anything, but they don't tune in every week because you know, they're not hardcore fans only. They're casuals.
Right.
There are people you know, who don't get time to tune in, so they'll tune in when WWE announces, okay, John Cena's coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's something WWE can't afford to do because they have a lot of casual fans, and it is what it is.
I agree. It is. Yeah.
So do you think that now John Cena's back, the John Cena sucks chants are gone for good?
I honestly was expecting them when he came back. Like, I was sitting and waiting, and I was like, oh man, like, even when he addressed it, he was shocked. He was like, why are you guys cheering? Like, there's not a single boo out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly, it became like a staple when I saw him to like expect the chants. Like, it was like the Kurt Angle "You suck" chant.
Yeah.
So like I kind of miss them in a way, if I'm being honest. I do. Like I like expect to like sing it. Like I went to SummerSlam 2017, and the guy next to me was booing him, but he saw me in like head to toe Cena merch, and I was singing John Cena sucks, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, hey man, it's just part of the show at this point, you know?
Wow. You went to part of the show. You went to SummerSlam 2017. I was there too, but you know, that time Wrasslinews wasn't existent. It existed a month later, so 2 months later. So
wow, I was this close.
But you know, we will meet up at a WWE event one day for sure. It's gonna happen.
For sure.
I was there at SummerSlam. I was there, you know, 2 days later on SmackDown. I skipped Raw because at that time they were pushing Roman Reigns a lot, like face Roman Reigns a lot. So I was like, I'm not gonna go to Raw. I'm gonna boycott Raw. I did not go to Raw. Went to NXT.
I didn't go either.
Oh, good. I went to NXT.
I didn't go.
I went to SummerSlam. Skipped Raw. I went to SmackDown.
That's awesome.
Yeah, had to boycott Roman Reigns and boycott Raw.
Yeah. For sure.
It's such a great conversation. I mean, I love talking to you about Cena, especially. I mean, nobody has more knowledge than you when it comes to John Cena. It's great talking to you. So before we go off, Carmen, I would like to know what motivated you to create, you know, this whole fan community, a fan page for John Cena.
So, like, when it started, and it wasn't even John Cena Crews that was the name at that time. I was, like, Team C Nation 13 was, like, my first, like, Twitter username. And I actually stole the name in a way from someone else, because someone had Randy Orton Crews as their name. And I was like, I like it. I'm taking it. So I changed the name. But at first, I would just, like, live tweet Raw and stuff. I think I was, like, 14 or something when that started. But I saw, like, how many fans at that time would, like, use my live tweets to follow the show because they were in, like, other countries or they didn't have it available at that time. And I hadn't really thought about it before that point. And I was like, man, that sucks. That some people don't have it just available to, like, flip on the TV and watch the show. So I started just regularly live tweeting, but I would only tweet about the stuff like he did. And then it started kind of gaining popularity at that point. And I was like, maybe this can be like a fan page, because I saw other people doing it. Because before I just had the username, I wasn't like a fan page, as they say. But then once I started seeing kind of like the impact that it had on other fans, like they had a safe space to go to. And I was like, that kind of was what the page was for me as well. And I wanted to give that to other people. And the more popular the page got, more people saw that it was a safe space for them to like enjoy what he was doing and to enjoy like WWE at that time. Because around the time I did it, it wasn't cool anymore to like WWE or to like wrestling. So online community was a really safe space for people, and I think that's why I enjoyed doing it so much. Like the followers and everything came after that point, but like I was posting, getting 2 likes, and I was like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Like that was cool for me. So like seeing like 1,300 is just blows my mind, you know? It's crazy.
It's like I'm talking to a mirror right now, because I, created my own wrestling news because of the same reasons. I wanted to create a space. I was on Instagram, every once in a while. I'm a very non-social media person, by the way. I don't have any personal social media accounts. I don't like social media.
I never use my personal account.
I think it's every big page story. The admins just don't get time for it. But
yeah.
But I logged on to my personal account when I had it, and I used to see these wrestling communities, and they were so toxic. The comments were so toxic, and I came across a few pages where the admins used to fight with their followers.
And with the followers.
I'm thinking, this is not how you run a fan page. You have 100,000 followers, and you're abusing your fans. What is it? So I was like, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to bring a change. I created Wrasslinews, and, I connected with such incredible creators like yourself. And I'm totally honored to be a part of this community and to be a part of community where John Cena Crews is the #1 John Cena fan page.
Thank you.
Really an honor. It's great. Thank you so much again, Carmen, for your time. It was wonderful talking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Next time we're going to catch up is hopefully when John Cena declares Taiwan a country. I'm joking. But we're going to catch up soon, hopefully. And can't wait for our next meeting. Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you. And right after this interview, promise me you'll check out the Wrassing show for the Maria Kanellis.
I promise. Scout's honor, I will.
Good. I love that. Thank you so much, Carmen. It was great talking to you. Have a good day.
Thank you.